Remember when Kenya Moore told us that she will be vindicated? That day is upon us. Let's chat. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Bonnie Scotch. Thank you so much for tuning into my video today. I wanted to bring you a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 16, episode 4. I thought that this was another good episode. We are 4 for 4 with it. Okay? But things did get a little bit ghetto. We're going to get into it in a little bit. Go ahead and hit the like button before we get started. When you hit the like button, it is a free way to support the channel and let YouTube know that I am here and that you all are rocking with my commentary, so YouTube starts to shoot my content out. Some quick church announcements. I did start a membership, so for $5 a month for a cup of coffee every month, you can support the channel, kind of help me pay the bills and help me with the, the overall bad bitch maintenance that I need to do for this channel, okay? I will definitely have that linked in the description for you all. By the way, do y'all like my, this is a crochet dress that I made like last year. Eventually I will like put up the pattern for this, and then I'll ask you guys, like those of you who crochet, if y'all want to be like pattern testers for this dress. Like I'm trying to do it real official. But anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this review. So we start this episode with Britt and Angela. They are meeting up at the park to go for a walk, go for a little hike. Britney is saying that she wanted to meet up with Angela to start making friends because she doesn't have a lot of friends, and typically females either love her or hate her. Now you, as a woman, referring to women as females, told me everything that I need to know about you. Told me everything. Women who refer to other women as females typically tend to be very male identified. They tend to side with a man at all costs. They tend to forsake other women for a man. Let's go ahead and put a pin in that one. She says a lot of people don't value friendship, but I do. Let's put a pin in that one too, okay? Did y'all clock that when Angela asked Britney how her husband was doing, immediately it was a gnat or a fly or something flew down into her throat, as if to stop the lie immediately, to get down in her throat and stop that lie from coming out of her mouth. Because I've talked about this in previous reviews. I don't really know what her and her husband are giving. It's giving a little bit of fraudulent, a little bit of scam tease. There's something about their dynamic that's just very odd. It's very off to me, okay? Shout out to the gnat. Shout out to the fly, because it immediately stopped that lie from coming out of her throat. I really appreciated that moment. She started coughing and hacking. Also, I was saying this too, we don't even know what that man does. This is Housewives. Housewives, okay? The premise of how this show started was off of Desperate Housewives back in the day. They wanted to kind of bring that show into Bravo, but kind of like with a reality TV twist. Because remember, Desperate Housewives was like a really big show at that time. The men, we know what they do for a living. And then the women, they live these extravagant, opulent lifestyles. So what does your man do? We don't know what your man does because it's giving Tommy from Martin.
Well, let me ask you something. Just what the hell do you do, Tommy?
Why is he always around? What is his place of business? How come we never see this man working? We are 4 episodes in, and I have not seen this man working. 4 episodes in, all I've seen this man do is stuff food down his throat and drink champagne. There's dessert upstairs with a lemon twist. Okay. Anyway, like, why is he always around? He don't got nothing to do. So Angela is telling Britt that Charles started off really well with her mom and her sister, and over the years things started to shift. Now, Angela, is it because he had an outside baby? Allegedly, because that's what Wendy Williams told us, honey.
She goes, Wendy, it's only a baby.
Oh.
You can work this out. And I looked at her like, Has this ever happened to you? So she said yes. I said, did you work it out? And she pointed over to Charles and said yes.
She says that she wants to fix things with the family and she is helping them a lot, and most of it is coming from him. So, you know, these dynamics are always interesting to me when it's like the man is funding the lifestyle of the family and then they start falling out with the man. I would love to know more about this. I want to hear from the mama. Bring the mother up here, bring the sister up here, get everybody involved. I want to know. I would like to know. Britney is saying that I get that because my sisters feel the same way as well. And they're like, oh, Mike is not my daddy. Now, this is different because Mike is not funding anybody's lifestyle. That's number one. I know that for a fact. Here's the other thing. Them saying Mike is not my daddy, that should let you know that there's a very inappropriate dynamic at play here with all of these adults. Very inappropriate. Angela says that she wants to throw a dinner. She wants to get the ladies together and kind of smooth things over with Shamia. So I thought that that was nice. And I don't want to see Angela and Shamia feuding anyway. That's not what I came for. Oh, let me go get some lip gloss. Hold on one second, y'all.
Look at you. That's crazy.
Okay, better. Okay. Y'all, in this moment, Britney finds a way to bring up Kenya again. I said, oh, wow, wow, wow. It's giving unhinged. You met this lady one time. Once. Okay? You didn't like the way she greeted you. Later on that night, you went and begged that lady for a hug. And then she held your hand and led you over to the couch, and it seemed like, you know, y'all had moved past the moment and you're bringing it up again. This lady is unwell.
Have a history of mental illness. Yes.
What is happening here? Very, very pressed. Do we have a counter on how many times this lady has brought up Kenya's name? She brought it up with Kelly. She brought it up with Angela. She's brought it up in at least 3 confessionals. She brought it up with Mike and his sister. Oh my God. Oh my God. No wonder Kenya was fearing for her safety. Next up, we have Shamia with her sister in their backyard, and she is playing her new single for her sister. One thing about it, Shamia is going to wear a logo. Okay? She loves a logo. She loves to let you know that she has on designer, honey. Shamia has proven to us that she is a real musician. She says that she started off in the choir. She was in a band called J7. She worked with Kerry Hilson. She was also in another band called Coed. Shamia is a real musician, and I love to see it. I saw a lot of people throwing shade at Shamia, talking about, oh, brother, here goes another housewife trying to be a musician. And I want y'all to shut y'all asses up. Shut up. People do their artistry. This is why people are afraid to be themselves, and they can't be their authentic selves, because here y'all go talking shit when the woman is clearly talented. This is not a Kim Zolciak moment. This is not Luann from whatever franchise she's from. Well, I don't know if Luann can really sing. Can she really sing, y'all? I don't want to throw shade at Luann if she's like really like a Broadway theater girl, because some of these women actually really have talent. Like, for example, I wish that Shamari put out a project or a single or an EP while she was on this show, because Shamari, she was doing like a little sing-off with her and Candy, blew it out the water. Now, I have always loved the group Black, so I wish she had teamed up with Candy and did something. Atlanta has had the most music come out of, you know, their franchise. And I'm glad. I'm glad that they're taking advantage of their platform. That's what you should be doing as an artist. So it's smart. Drew had one of the best projects, I think, to drop on Housewives aside from Candace. And go support Drew's album, by the way. Now, here's how I feel about Shamia's single. I think that she sounds great on it. I'm not mad at it, but it doesn't have that replay quality for me that I want to go back and listen to it. I feel like this was a song that somebody wrote that they just gave to Shamia. Like, it's kind of like a one-size-fits-all. Like, you could give it to anybody. It doesn't feel deeply personal or anything like that. It also sounds a little bit dated to me. I would like to hear more from Shamia, though. On a positive side, I think she has a gorgeous voice and she has real talent. So Shamia, Put out a project. I will support you. If you put out an album, an EP, I will get up here and review it, just like I did for Drew, okay? I support the girls. Y'all know well, those of you who watch my channel, y'all know I'm a musician myself. So I support the girls in the arts, the girls who take their craft seriously. Hello? Again, I think she sounds beautiful, but the track does sound a little bit dated to me. Next up, we have Porsha meeting up with her team. So she says that this company is her main meal and we gotta eat. Now, are you telling me that Porsha's Bundles company is paying her more than Real Housewives of Atlanta? Go Naked Hair Care is a $1 million business? Are any of y'all using Porsha's Bundles? If you are, get down in the comments. Porsha hair do be looking good. I mean, she will put a nice piece of hair in that head. It always looks great. Now, Porsha says that although she planned to be retired at 40, she wants to continue to be taken seriously in the business world. She says that she lost some of that identifying solely as a wife. You lost it because you wanted to stupidly quit all of your jobs for a Nigerian scammer with a bogus green card. And you didn't have to quit all your jobs to be a wife. Good paying jobs. You quit your best job, your best paying job of housewives, because you knew that the way that you got with this man was scandalous and you didn't want to have to answer to your ill-gotten gains. That's what that's giving. So I'm not going to let Porsha play in my face. That was a choice. She says that Cinderella got to wake the hell up. The soft life is over. But if you were about your business, you would have created a soft life for yourself. You don't have to be Cinderella. You don't have to be a make-believe fairy tale Disney princess in your mind, in your own alternate reality, to be a soft life girly. You could have created for yourself a soft life by being about your business and continuing to get this bag at Real Housewives of Atlanta. And if you were a real bitch, you would have came up here the next season after you walked out of that lady's house with her husband and said, yeah, I did it. I did. I fell for him. I was in love with him. We started a friendship. You would have owned the moment right away, and then we would have been able to move past it and then get into whatever the new shenanigans were. But you wanted to run off. You had Porsha's Family Matters. You wanted to tell your family not to talk about what was going on, and the production found out through them that you were telling them not to talk about what was really going on behind the scenes. Hello? Porsha, I know your tricks, Miss Thing. I know your antics. I know how you get down. I'm saying that to say this. I'm all for the girls getting a rich husband, right? But how you go about doing that is important as well. Get your rich husband, but also get your own money in this day and age. And why would you not want to as a woman? Like, if you can get to the bag easy, every woman is doing that. Every woman is stacking up and lining their pocketbook. Every woman is not just quitting really good jobs where they have amazing platforms for a man who is getting pulled over in stolen cars, for a man who's getting stopped at the airport, for a man who has been scamming since the late 80s, since you were a child, Miss Thing. I'm not buying this whole, oh, I didn't know that he was. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Because whenever we as women start dating somebody, we are doing the background check. We're looking all through your Instagram. We're looking through your cousin's pages. We're looking through your mama's pages. We want to know everything about you.
I want to know everything. I want to know if her mother's elbows are ashy.
We want to know everything. So either you didn't do your due diligence, okay, which is bad pussy management, horrible, in fact, or you just didn't care. And it gives the latter. It gives that you didn't care. And what an amazing example she set for little Pilar. Like I said, child, I be going off on these little rants. Porsha said that she is building $1 billion empire. Okay. Porsha says that we're always looking for ambassadors, but they have to be serious about their content. So why was it an issue for Drew to book a photo shoot for Go Naked Hair if you want your brand ambassadors to be serious about promoting content? Do y'all see how Porsha talks out of both sides of her neck? Do y'all see that? Then the man who works for her is saying how Drew reached out and she wants to sit down with her and Dennis. And you can tell that this man is being very nasty and messy and shady. He says, oh, when did Dennis become Quincy Jones? I think that y'all really sound crazy when people are trying to be creative and try new things and go down new avenues. and y'all try to downplay it like, oh, when did he become L.A. Reid? Maybe Dennis wants to be a mogul. Maybe it's just that he's not afraid to try different things. And if you weren't afraid to try different things, maybe you would be in another line of business. Maybe you could have your own business, and maybe you wouldn't be employed by a violent clown like Porsha Williams. Porsha says that one of her main boundaries with Dennis is that he doesn't need to be filming with Drew Sidora. Porsha doesn't realize that that is not how boundaries work. You cannot tell somebody what to do in terms of business or how they move in terms of business. That's ultimately putting a coin in your pocketbook and say that it's a boundary. She doesn't use this. I feel like a lot of stupid people get into therapy and they learn these buzzwords and then they kind of just throw it around haphazardly. That's not what a boundary is. That's not how that works. Again, that's a grown man doing business with another grown woman who you say is not even your friend, but even if she was, why would it be an issue? But Drew is on her platform, which is Real Housewives of Atlanta, just like yours. As much as y'all like to shit on Drew and y'all don't want to admit it, this is her platform as well. Porsha thinks that Drew wants to be her and that it's giving single white female. Nobody wants to be you, girl. You're very delusional. Nobody would trade lives with you. The shit that you put yourself through, you are very much the architect of your own demise. Nobody wants to be somebody who quits jobs for a Nigerian scammer. Nobody wants to be you. Next up, we have Ralph and Drew in their backyard. And the only thing I really got from this scene is that Ralph is kind of sort of trying to play nice to smooth things over and disarm Drew. What I found odd was a couple of things going on here. Now, why did Ralph have a shirtless confessional? So this is how you know Bravo is playing on Kenya and everybody's top. If you're violent, if you're a scammer, if you're somebody with a questionable background, it seems like that's who the Bravo execs go up for. You mean to tell me y'all gonna give Ralph's stinking ass a confessional, and this whole time we don't get to see no confessionals from my girl Kenya? But y'all don't mind using her image or using her to carry the scenes. And then they said that it's been put in the order that they're not supposed to discuss divorce with the kids. What judge would say that? Also, what judge would make a mother leave the house every first, third, and fifth weekend of the month? Who is this judge? Who are these people in the courts making these decisions? Then we see a clip of Ralph doing a tour of the basement like this is MTV Cribs. I said, oh, you're really clowning. Anyway, the basement does look really nice. They did a great job on that house. It looks fabulous. Next up, we have Kenya and Kelly meeting up at the Kenya Moore Hair Care Salon and Spa. The place is stunning, y'all. It is fabulous. I love the decor, the way she has it set up, the way she has everything sectioned off. It looks really gorgeous. Now, Kelly's outfit. I loved her outfit. I love that she had on the mismatching shoes, very Carrie Bradshaw. I love the sunglasses she had on. Where are those from? Because I want those. It gave me very Y2K baddie. Yeah, I liked it. Very cute. I like Kelly and Kenya's dynamic. I feel like they have great chemistry together. I love getting to see them click and bond on our TV. So I thought that this was a really good moment. Now, Kenya is asking Kelly why she is walking around with a bodyguard. And Kelly proceeds to tell us that she has gotten physical threats from this man. He actually threatened her life in court. So this man is very clearly unwell, unstable, unhinged, deranged. I really appreciate how open Kelly is being with us and really sharing her story because, listen, there's a lot of things that I share about myself, and then there are a lot of things that I will never get on here and tell. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also not on a platform like Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, I have a YouTube channel. I'm a woman on the internet, and I know how y'all like to weaponize people's lives against them on Mad Day. So we're not even going to get into all of that, honey. We learned that Kenya put Brooklyn's college fund into this salon, and she really has to make it work. And Kelly is encouraging her and just telling her, just, walk in faith right now. Kelly in this moment is saying that she really loves Kenya. She doesn't get why Britney has this issue with her. It's because Britney already had it in her mind that she wants to go after Kenya. By the way, I'm thinking of getting some Kenya Moore hair care. I want to go to her website and do maybe like a silk press, see how her products work on my hair, and just really support the doll. You know what I'm saying? I feel like she took a hit to her business, after that whole situation with Brit. Like, I'm going to watch the next episode next week because this is where the fallout happens, where Kenya's like, so let's talk about this hoe, Brit Edie, with her poster boards. So I'm going to see what it gives next week. And then I'm going to check out Kenya Moore Hair Care, sign up for the email, get a little 10%, coupon or whatever the case is. And then, maybe do like a silk press situation. I think she has like a serum and some other things. So we'll see. We'll see how much it all comes up to. I see a lot of people online saying that they feel like the newbies got together and decided that they wanted to go after the OGs. I don't think that that is what's happening here. I think, and Kelly spoke to this. She spoke to this on Watch What Happens Live. I did catch a little bit of it. But I feel like these shows come on too late. And I be trying to go to bed for real. Like it comes on too late. Like, I gotta be in bed at a decent hour so I can wake up at a decent hour, rewatch the show, record, all of that stuff. So anyway, I don't think that Kelly got together with Britney to decide they were going to go after the OGs. I think that Britney already had it in her mangled up mind that she wanted to go after Kenya. Okay, that was clearly on her agenda. With Kelly, like she said on Watch What Happens Live, I wanted to know if it was safe to bring my man around her because, and I said, clock it. Porsha is not a person of integrity, not a person that we think of when we think of, high standards, high morals, or anything like that. Next up, we have Brit meeting up with her sister, Cher. Cher is the big sister, and she's 3 years older. Cher is saying that you used to be my biggest support system. She says as soon as you got in this relationship, you put your family on the back burner. She's also saying, why would I have a conversation with you and your husband is sitting right there? I feel like a lot of women don't know this, but I want y'all to know you don't have to bring your man everywhere. If I'm hanging out with my homegirls and she wants to have her man around, I'm not going to be hanging out with you. I want girl time. I don't want you and your man time. I'm not his friend. And like sometimes I get like, niggas going to be around. We might be in the same situation, like whatever. But all the time is crazy. All the time is crazy. It's giving codependent, it's giving inappropriate, it's also giving bird brain. The sister is sitting there crying and pleading to Britney and saying that she misses her sister. And in Britney's mangled up mind, she's saying that her sister is jealous because she doesn't have a relationship herself. Y'all always think that everybody prioritizes having a man and being in relationship with a man the same way that y'all do. Ridiculous. She says that she thinks it's hard for her sister to watch her happiness when she's not in the same space. The sister is literally crying and pleading and saying that she misses her sister and she just doesn't want this man sitting in on their conversations. And Britney filters that in as, oh, she's jealous of me. So it gives like, she was one of those girls growing up where like, she would start shit with people and her parents and her family would be like, oh, they're just jealous of you. So she doesn't have like a real view. She has a skewed view of reality and dealing with other women. If your man is sitting in on conversations, I wouldn't want to come around your ass either. Let's be very clear about that. And then when your man leaves you, you're going to want to come back around us acting like shit is sweet. No, stay over there. Next up, we have Drew and Dennis meeting up in the studio. They're playing Chicago Slide. This is my least favorite song on the album, even though I think that the album is fantastic. And I honestly can see Drew potentially getting a Grammy for that. It really is good. So Drew is explaining to Dennis that Porsha all of a sudden has an issue with them working together when it wasn't an issue before. I think that this is Porsha's way of deflecting from having to talk about how stupid she was to get into that relationship with Simon. Drew says that she made several attempts to talk to her and that it's clear that Porsha is avoiding her. And I agree that this is what it is, but listen, the show must go on. By the way, did y'all peep how Dennis said that Porsha really shouldn't be upset because she was just in Nigeria eating fufu? It gives me that he's very calculated, right? Because he went to Drew and he made a great business move with her, but also he knew that it would piss Porsha off in the same breath. And Porsha doesn't even realize that she is playing directly to his hand. And I don't think that Drew sees that she's a pawn in his game to get back at Porsha. So now we have the women meeting up for Angela's dinner. The attire is all black. Everyone comes in all black except for Kenya. And then she's acting like she didn't know that it was an all black attire and she didn't get the memo. That would irritate me. If I throw like an all black, or whatever the color theme is, and you come in some other shit, don't come in here. I love Kenya, but that would irritate me. Even though she did look really pretty and I love the dress. Anyway, Angela looked really good. Kenya looked good. I don't know what the hell Porsha had on. That shit was a mess. Did y'all notice in Porsha's confessional, you know, with the silver dress, with like the kind of silver top, that some of her areola is hanging out? Anyway, I don't know what Kelly had on either. It was like a thong bodysuit with some mesh pants over it. No, ma'am. Absolutely not. Kenya says hello to everybody. She goes and she hugs Britt. And Britt jumps up to say that that was a pat and not a hug. So she's policing the hugs once again. Here we have this bitch begging for a hug 2 times in a row. The second time you're meeting this lady, you're begging for another hug. You know them niggas that be like, where my hug at? You a where my hug at ass bitch. Wow. Wow. Shamia showed up. She looked amazing. I love that mushroom cut. A mushroom cut with those T-bar sideburns, that is one of my favorite haircuts ever. Why did Shamia show up with a branch inserted into a bottle of olive oil? I thought that that was so funny. It was supposed to be like an olive branch. Very clever. Then we have Kelly being messy, turning to Drew and saying, oh, you came with your makeup artist and your sister. You had champagne and hors d'oeuvres, but you didn't buy anything. You don't know what's going on in that lady's pocketbook. You don't know what her situation is. So you policing how much she spent or she didn't spend. I thought that that was ugly and disgusting and classist as hell coming from Kelly. Now, I like you, girl, but now I got my good eye on you because I feel like y'all do too much on Drew. Drew is not even a combative, confrontational person, and y'all continuing to go after her makes y'all look like bullies. I really don't like that. And more than that, she doesn't have shit to prove to you. Aren't you raising awareness for Brittle's bone disease? And if you really wanted to raise money, you wouldn't be throwing a Balmain event and only giving 10% of the proceeds to people with this illness, to research, excuse me. It gave that you really wanted to have a moment with Drew, and I really didn't like that. Then she says clearly she's not used to being in these rooms. That was so ugly and nasty. Anyway, the food came out. It looked really good. It actually made me hungry both times that I watched it. We have Shamia saying that, you know, she got her song with her and she plays it at the table. And then Porsha is screwing up her face and saying, oh, this is not you. That's Drew. She's saying, oh, that's not Shamia's voice. She's sitting at the table openly hating while her bestie is playing her song. Everybody's like listening, bopping along, trying, you know, they're catching a vibe, complimenting her. Everybody has smiles on their face. They're all encouraging. And Portia's like, with her face screwed up, furrowed eyebrow. I said, oh, she is nasty. You are openly evil eyeing the fuck out of this lady. Wow. Wow. She's asking her if that's her on the song. She says, are my ears misleading me? The energy was so disgusting. I don't even know how y'all are fans of that lady, but hey, whatever. So then the ladies start playing this game where they're pretty much asking each other a bunch of messy and shady questions. They ask Angela if she has any secrets that she doesn't want the group to know. Porsha says, oh, I heard your husband is spicy. I heard something about Charles. Then they're like, oh, what did you hear? And Portia's like, oh, no, we'll wait. So why the fuck did you bring it up? When I tell y'all she irritates my spirit, she irks my soul so bad. If anybody was talking about Simon's scamming ass and how he was getting stopped at airports and pulled over in stolen cars, then it would be an issue, right? Angela, get your shit ready for Porsha. Get it ready, girl. I need you to clock in. Clock in. ASAP. Yesterday. Then we get this question geared towards Kenya. Why are you so worried about happily married women? So we know that that was coming from Britney, who's sitting over there with her baggy ass ring. The ring is not even fitting. It's leaning all the way to the side. So we knew that was from Britney. Britney herself reads it because the first question, Kelly read it. And then this one, Britney is reading. Kenya, can you speak to Britney kindly and not with an attitude? She says, I didn't write it, I promise. Why are you lying? Just stand in your shit. Because you clearly have an issue with this woman, but you're being passive aggressive about it at the same time? Weird. She's a weirdo. Supreme weirdo. Kenya says, I've been respectful to everybody. Britney says, we're talking about me. And then she gets real sassy. And Kenya's like, okay, you're clearly looking for a moment. Have your moment. And Britney's like, I didn't send for her. Kenya's like, oh, thank you for using my catchphrase. Maybe she just ate you up with that one, because it gives that you have been studying Kenya and you secretly admire her and you wanted to create a moment off her back. So Kenya stands up. She looks very unbothered, and you can tell that because Kenya is unbothered and brushing it off, Britney wanted to turn up even more. So she starts cursing, calling her out her name, calling her all kinds of bitches. I was like, okay, this is getting weird. It's getting weird and ghetto. We get a confessional from all the women, and they're saying that Britney is doing too much. Angela sends everybody off with a gift, very classy. Everybody's walking out the door, and Britney is saying, oh, let me call my husband because I have a husband. Y'all, it just got really hood. Really ghetto.
That ghetto shit gotta go.
Yeah.
This is not married to hip hop.
It gave me a little bit of Zeus Network. It did. Now, it has been ghetto for a while. It's been ghetto since Porsha and Phaedra were introduced to this platform. Porsha's on here, so if we're talking about people who declass the show, we can start with her. And then, you know, we're getting Phaedra back. I think that Porsha and Phaedra really set the stage for somebody like Brit Edie to come on here and just get on here gutter sniping.
Bitch. A nasty, vile gutter snipe. Right up out the hood.
So then everybody's walking out of the door, and Britney is still talking shit. Her husband comes up, and then all of a sudden she gets loud. She starts getting really, really loud and turning up. So your husband being around put a battery in your back. She says that she has whips and pistols. Don't play with me, Kenya. The whole time Kenya is just ignoring her. She's fixing her hair. She's putting her stuff in the back seat. She's like, Porsha, I'm going to get in the back seat. Like, doing her thing, paying that lady absolute dust. And you can tell that this is really getting under Brit's skin. She is standing there yelling in the parking lot. And Kenya already done got in the car. Kenya said barely 2 sentences to her. And she's all shaken and stirred in her spirit. She's yelling at Kenya from across the parking lot, saying she needs to be respectful. She's going to learn today. Britney, I tried to give you a chance, girl. I tried. I said I was going to be open-minded, but no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Absolutely not. So, you know, we're going to see in the next episode how, you know, Kenya wrangles her in. I don't think that she should have done it at her event. Let's be very clear on that. We're going to see how it shakes out in the next episode. But Britney, it gives a little bit unhinged. It gives a little bit unhinged. It gives me, maybe you need to be in a padded room. Alone. Anyway, y'all, that was the episode. Go ahead and hit the like button for me on the way out. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you know when I'm posting. And I'll see y'all for the next one. Peace.
Come on. It's me, Al Grande, or call me Papi Chulito. Yo tengo mucho loving for you mommies if you legal. For honeys, nothing equal to the way I tap that spot. Get your cat hot, guess what? You hit the jackpot. Candlelight dinners for you winners. See, I'm like Don Juan, beat me, sweetie. I get in ya. Sugar, I'ma put you in a beautiful